welcome back to Red October Bell Ringers podcast. I'm Colin Daly here with Benjamin Goldstein, ready to discuss the inception of Red October 2025. Ben, I am stoked to get this underway. Actually, I'd have to do a quick plug to start the podcast. Thank you to Sam Hine for filling in for me in our last episode. I am back for episode number 89, and I am so excited to watch this team come out and finally, hopefully, see some success in the NLDS for the first time since 2023, when the Phillies topped the Atlanta Braves and then ultimately lost to the Diamondbacks in the National League Championship Series. Ben, we are going to dive right into this. We have a great matchup in game number one. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our X factors, our predictions, our keys to beating the Dodgers. But let's start with this, Ben. How are you feeling going into the series?
I mean, it's playoff baseball, so I'm nervous. I am, the nerves are flowing, but I'm excited. This is going to be an all-time series. It's the Philadelphia Phillies, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's debatably the two best teams in the playoffs meeting up in a best of five. These first two games in Philadelphia are going to be huge. This first game is huge. Every game is huge, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a great series, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really think that the winner of this series might just win the World Series.
Ben, I think that's actually a really good take. I don't know if a lot of people would agree with you on that, but I am right there with you. I mean, these are two of the record doesn't show it, right? And that is what it is. They're not the one seeds in this bracket in the National League, but they are teams that have been consistently dominant over the past 3 to 5 years. I mean, the Dodgers have 12, 13 straight NLDS appearances. I mean, they are just a consistent, just lethal powerhouse in the National League. The Phillies have either made it to the championship series, won the division, each of the last 4 years. So these are the two teams to beat in the National League, arguably in the whole MLB playoffs. I don't know. I'd go as far as saying they are the two teams to beat. And some might say we're lucky to see them facing off so early on, a lot of some early action. Other people might argue that they wish it were saved for the championship series, but I, for one, am excited. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's going to be a great series. It's going to be a great series.
Oh, absolutely.
And these are the two teams that are favored to win the World Series. Dodgers are slightly favored over the Phillies. And something I think is interesting to watch is the Dodgers kind of took the regular season this year kind of like on a coast breeze, like kind of like what you kind of now see in the NBA, where it's like, you're going to make the playoffs. So we're just going to make sure everyone's healthy and ready to go for the playoffs. And that's what the Dodgers did. They, rested. They didn't slam Ohtani with the pitching. They gave their guys off days, and now they are 100% healthy and ready to go. The rotation's set. Their offense is the best we're going to see in the playoffs. Their bullpen is very questionable, which we will highlight. But everything else is the best you might see. Their rotation is incredible. Ohtani, Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow. It's one of the best. Their lineup: Ohtani again, Freeman, Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith, Tommy Edman, who turns it on the postseason. It's a great team. It's a very well managed team by Dave Roberts. And they are the best you're going to see in the playoffs.
100%.
In the National League side, and whoever wins the series is going to come out, and they're going to be on top of the world. This is not the World Series, but this is going to have that feeling as this is the most important series of the postseason, just because of how good both these teams are, and it's going to be fun. And the Phillies recently have the edge over the Dodgers. They have won their last 5 series against Los Angeles, which dates back to June of 2023. They have won the last 3 playoff series against the Dodgers, NLCS in 83, 08, 09. They all have great moments, all have something you can look back on. And this is going to be a moment-filled playoff series. And I cannot wait for game one this afternoon or tonight.
Yeah, Ben, you stole all my points there. I mean, they have been so good against the Dodgers. In the like, I didn't go and get the postseason stats, but the regular season stats against the Dodgers, the offense has been impressive, but their pitching against the Dodgers offense has been remarkable across the board too. I mean, it's been really, really efficient. Efficient, I really think is the best word for it, because they've seen like the stars have gone deep into games. Chris Sanchez, obviously not with us anymore, but Zach shouldn't phrase it that way. Not playing right now, Zach Wheeler.
He is still. He is not playing right now because of his surgery, but he is still. Wheeler's still with us.
For some context, everyone, we're recording this at an ungodly hour.
Yeah.
We're just choosing to share it with you at a more reasonable time.
Yes.
We actually might be celebrating the new day in this episode.
It's very possible that we're celebrating a new day. But yeah, Phillies have played the Dodgers well.
What's that?
Phillies play the Dodgers very well.
They do, yeah, and their pitching's been efficient. Wheeler, Sanchez, these guys have gone deep into games. Actually, a couple of years ago, this year, of course, it's been an anomaly in a lot of ways, but Aaron Nola has had some really good starts against the Dodgers. And the other thing is Shohei Ohtani has not been successful against the Phillies like he has against other teams. I mean, hasn't been not playable, but there's only two ballparks he hasn't hit a home run in, and one of those is Citizens Bank Park. So he'll definitely be on the hunt, I think, come this evening. And games, 2 and 5? Yeah. But the Phillies have done a good job of shutting him down. I don't know if there's a specific strategy they approach with that. If it's just more of a, there's no secret that Phillies have very good pitching with, Luzardo, Suarez, Sanchez, Nola, Wheeler, and then the bullpen with, Joan Duran and all the guys in the back end. We'll talk about them a little bit later. At least I will. I don't know about Ben. When we get to our X factors and our keys, but there's I feel like this series in particular has so many very, very niche aspects to it. They're going to be fun to watch. Like you mentioned, the managing is going to be fascinating. I mean, these are two of, I think, the smartest managers in baseball facing off, and you're going to see them trying to outmanage one another. I mean, Dave Robertson is known for really crafty changes defensively, offensively, in the bullpen. Rob Thompson has found a way, I think, has put together some really good lineups, especially when the Phillies are struggling. Of course, that's less of a factor in the playoffs because you're really going to put your 9 best guys who've represented your team the best for the whole season out onto the field. But Thompson, he makes unorthodox pitching changes. And people complain because they're unorthodox. And when you do things like that, sometimes they're not going to work, right? That's just a fact of life. But a lot of times they do work. And not a lot of managers have had that kind of success. So I'm excited to see. I hope they can outmanage each other, but they don't outmanage themselves. That's going to be, I hope Dave Roberts outmanages himself. We are a Phillies podcast here, not just an MLB podcast. But I hope Rob Thompson outmanages Roberts, not himself. And we've seen people do that before, so.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be
actually one of my keys.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating. These, as Colin said, 2 of the best minds in baseball, and Roberts has been doing it for a while. Thompson, he's been in baseball forever, but has only been a manager for 3.5 years. And this might be his best season, and he's done it really with how he's managed his guys through a lot of adversity the Phillies have been through this year. And you look at the lineup constructions, Colin hit on it, and the platoon stuff that he's done. He had a depleted Nick Castellanos from right field, and he was able to turn that into a pretty solid platoon with Max Kepler, Harrison Bader. They're now getting in there every day. All the platoons he's got out. He had a platoon out in left field for a little bit that was working. Just the stuff that Rob Thompson does. He finally made the change to put Trey Turner in leadoff spot, and Turner had his best year as a Philly. Just a lot of things, a lot of little things that he's done that not a lot of people pick up because, if the manager does something good, it's not really talked about. But if he does something poor, it's really exemplified. However, Thompson's done a lot of good this season. It really should have him in the running for manager of the year. And I think that should really be publicized more, is that Rob Thompson has managed this team, which is a bunch of old, stubborn veterans, into a clubhouse where they can all rally behind Rob Thompson. And he keeps it monotone because that's how he wants his guys to be, and not to get too excited in the moment and just stay the same and be as cool as a cucumber as Rob Thompson is. And that's how his guys are on the field most of the time. And Rob Thompson's been great. He's been great for the Phillies, and hopefully that continues. I mean, the guy has been to a postseason every single time he's been around a manager, so he's got a pretty good percentage. But I mean, we'll get into our keys, and I only have one. And I think if the Phillies can hit on this, they will win this series. It's one word, and it starts with a P. Something I don't really have a lot of. Patience. The Phillies need to be patient at the plate. This Dodgers starting pitching is amazing. Ohtani, Snell, Yamamoto, so much great pitching. And if you can work counts and get their pitch count up and get them out of the game, this Dodgers bullpen is the worst remaining in the postseason. It is the worst. Nothing that they have tried in the bullpen has worked all season. You saw it against the Reds. The Dodgers crushed the Reds. But once their pitchers came out of the game and their bullpen came in, the Reds kind of got chipping a little bit away at them. Against the Dodgers, the Phillies, back in September, were no-hit for 5 innings against Ohtani. They were down big. They came back and won the game against the Dodgers bullpen thanks to a Rafael Marchand home run. It just shows you how poor this Dodgers bullpen is. It's the worst still left in the playoff field. If the Phillies can be patient at the dish, something they were not last year, something they were not in the end of the NLCS, something they were not in the end of the World Series. If they can change that approach, have that patient approach, take pitches, don't swing at the outside pitch, and just let the strikes come to you, wait for that fastball, wait for that slider, wait for the pitch that you're looking for, and hit it and get on base and force these pitches out of the game, get to that bullpen, the Phillies are going to win this series, and they're going to win it in dominant fashion.
Well, I got nothing to say. Well, that's not true. I always have something to say. But the issue with our podcast is we like to have fun, right, Ben? So we don't compare notes like when we're doing these things. We do our notes separately because, he has X factors, he has keys, I have them. I had the same thing. But I do have some other notes here that I want to add is that, the thing that I noticed when I looked at the Dodgers during the regular season and the postseason is that Ben was 100% right. Their bullpen's not good. I mean, they have some veterans in there who have the experience, like Trinan, Tanner Scott, who were not good in the regular season, by the way. But they have some guys who had Henriquez was good during the regular season and the time that he was in the major leagues. And Emmett Sheehan was probably their best reliever in 2025. Both of those guys who were good during the regular season got obliterated by the Reds. I can't even remember how many runs Sheehan let up. He was terrible. He was just abysmal. I'm curious what his ERA is because it must be some absurd number. His playoff ERA. So right now, the Dodgers are in a very unique situation because not only is the overall quality of the bullpen, just the cumulative arms you have in there, not only are they bad, but the distribution of them right now is so unknown because the few guys that you could trust during the regular season are the ones that have struggled against the Reds, and the guys who were a little bit more shaky were the ones who threw scoreless innings. That was the pattern that I picked up on in the wild card series. So now Dave Roberts is forced to make a decision, and I think another thing that really, really weighs into that is the guys like Tanner Scott and Trinan, who were the ones that were shaky and then kind of stepped up in the Red Series, are the veterans. So does their postseason experience give them a leg up over the guys who are younger and experienced, struggled in their first postseason series, but really, really had good regular seasons. And frankly, I don't know, right? I'm not Dave Roberts, but I would go with the guys who are consistent during the regular season. But, Dave Roberts has managed veterans before. He knows that, we have a great example is Walker Buehler, right? Like Walker Buehler stepped it up in the postseason. When the Phillies signed Walker Buehler, that was the thing that got the fan base talking, was his postseason effectiveness. So Roberts recognizes that veterans, guys who have been very successful in the past with storied, season careers, those guys step it up when the spotlight is on them. So I think he might pivot. We might see more of those guys in the bullpen, the the Scotts and the Trinans and players of those nature, and some of these younger guys who were okay for the Dodgers during the regular season. Now, of course, there's also Roki Sasaki. I'm sure you saw his inning in the Dodgers-Red series.
Yeah,
he is disgusting.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about him. Dodgers started putting him in that kind of in a closer role in September after he came back off the IL. He hadn't pitched since May, and he has thrown 3 innings. He's allowed 1 hit. He's struck out 6 in his 3 appearances. He has been just straight up dominant in it. I mean, it's only been 3 appearances, but the Dodgers might have something here with Sasaki as their closer. So now the Dodgers kind of have a 9th inning guy. However, closers against the Phillies in the postseason and the Dodgers in history have not been good. Jonathan Broxton is, Matt Stairs, Jimmy Rollins. You think about those great moments against the Dodgers, but so maybe we'll say it was Sasaki. But I mean, the 23-year-old Sasaki, he's got great stuff. He's disgusting. We all know about him, and now you got him in the 9th inning. Like, that's tough.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. You know who he reminds me of a little bit? The guy. Why can't I think of his name? Recent guy. Went from the A's to the Orioles. He was a reliever from Japan with really good stuff. And he could not. Fujinami.
Okay.
He threw like 100. He couldn't locate. When he threw a pitch in the zone, it didn't get hit. But when he threw a good pitch that was in the strike zone, never got hit. But he would leave fastballs over the plate and they would get whacked. But he walked so many guys that every time someone got a hit, it drove in 2 or 3 runs. So that's kind of what Sasaki reminds me of. But he has seemingly turned it around since he came back, as you mentioned. So, yeah, you got to watch out for him. You really need to watch out for Sasaki.
But, I mean, other than Sasaki in that bullpen, there's nothing. I mean, Kershaw will be pitching out of the bullpen for the Dodgers. He's an aging guy. He's retiring after the season. Maybe the Phillies will end his career. So, really nothing you should be scared of Kershaw. Fun fact with the Phillies and Dodgers. The first ever Grand Slam Clayton Kershaw gave up was to Phillies legend Aaron Altair.
I knew that.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
That was impressive. You got to give
not many people remember that.
Where did you see that?
I just knew it. I remember watching it. I remember being like, first Grand Slam Kershaw's ever given up is to Altair. Anyway.
Okay.
Great Phillies moments and more moments will be made in this series. So my key, patience for the Phillies.
Yeah.
Patience. You have to have patience.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you hit my key without just saying it. I said my key was going to be get to the bullpen. So you're right, and you do that by working up their pitch count. And the good thing is that Ohtani isn't going to be going deep into games, so that will help with Game 1 for sure. So, and I think winning Game 1, especially in these best-of-5 series, you have to win Game 1. You have to. And I really do think the Dodgers are giving the Phillies a golden opportunity because they did get a little bit out of Ohtani the last time the Phillies faced him. And now you're going to probably see 4 or 5 innings of their not very good bullpen. So the Phillies are set up for success in Game 1. I know when you go onto the MLB app and you see Sanchez versus Shohei Ohtani, the best player in baseball, and I'd say really long time, it looks scary, but it's a reasonable matchup. It really is.
Let's talk about it. Game 1 of the NLDS is Shohei Ohtani versus Cristopher Sanchez. Ohtani has never pitched in Philadelphia. He has never pitched an inning in the postseason. He said on Friday he's nervous but excited. He knows how passionate the Philly fans are. And he said that the cheesesteaks in the visiting clubhouse are very good in Philadelphia. So I guess, Ohtani hopefully will be eating a lot of cheesesteaks and will lay a deuce on the mound on Saturday night. However, Ohtani is so good. Like, we can't deny how good Ohtani is.
Oh, no, never.
Like, when the Phillies faced him, it was 5 no-hit innings. However, the Phillies were moderately hungover that night. That was the night after they won the division. But, I mean, look, Ohtani throws a four-seamer, a slider, a sinker, changeup, curveball, cutter, sweeper, splitter. This dude will throw you the entire kitchen sink and some.
Right.
He peaked at 102 miles an hour this year, and he's disgusting. He throws everything. He's really good, and the guy hits.
How did the Phillies do the last time they faced Ohtani?
They've only faced him once.
Counting that game.
They've only faced him once.
Oh, I made that up then. I swear they faced him at the beginning of the season.
First time. No, it was the first time. They faced Sasaki early in the year.
He was out. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Well,
so,
they
Ohtani
did end up coming back and winning that game, though, didn't they?
The Philly, they came back and won that game against that bullpen, which is just, that was the crazy.
It's terrible.
Motion. Yeah, it's bad.
Old washed guy or nervous young guy is really the choices that Roberts has.
This is my thing. So, this game didn't matter against the Dodgers after they won the division. Ended up not really mattering. Of course, they were going for the bye. Got it. Whatever. I think it was so important that the Phillies saw him and faced him in that game. Just seeing the ball come out of his hand, see the spin coming out, because his spin rate, his spin and pitches is crazy. Seeing the spin, seeing the velocity, and just being in the box facing him is so important. And you know how much film they are watching. They knew they were going to face Ohtani all week. So just watching the film and knowing that you just saw him, seeing what he was throwing against you in September is huge.
Absolutely. I mean, and the one thing that I'll say, just from experience, and of course not the same level at all, but when you face a pitcher who has some sort of unique mechanic or attribute, the only way that you can crack their code, so to speak, is by getting reps. So like those 5 innings are truly going to be so significant in this series. It will make it. I shouldn't say the series, but the game at least it'll make or break it.
And then going up against Ohtani, of course, is Phillies ace Cristopher Sanchez, and I love Cristopher Sanchez. I do. I think he's a great story. If I had to put money on it, he'll finish second in Cy Young voting to this guy named Paul Skeens. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. But Sanchez. Where are the Phillies without Cristopher Sanchez? Wheeler goes out. Sanchez, I wouldn't even say he stepped up. He was just the same guy he was all year and just thrown more into the spotlight. But Cristopher Sanchez now has an added pressure. He's the ace of a team that is expected to win the World Series. That's tough. He's never started a game 1 before, and he's doing it against Ohtani at home. Sanchez has great numbers at home, but I'm not nervous for Cristopher Sanchez. I'm just saying this is something to look out for. Is that he's never been in this role. Zach Wheeler has always been the guy in the postseason. Now it's Cristopher Sanchez. That definitely does something to somebody, like mentally and physically. Like, I'm the guy. I got to be the guy. Or is Cristopher Sanchez just so cool, calm, and collective that he doesn't even care? It doesn't even matter.
So, to answer your question, where would the Phillies be without Cristopher Sanchez? The answer is they would be wrapping up a wild card series, right? I think that's the obvious answer. He had I guess maybe the NL East wasn't super competitive. Well, oh no, because they would have finished below the Dodgers. Yeah, they would be finishing up a wild card series because his B WAR was 8. He won the Phillies 8 games above his replacement on the depth chart. If someone else from the organization had been in his role, the Phillies would have been 88 and 74 4, if I'm doing math right, which means they would have been playing in the wild card series
on the road.
And they would have had to face a fresh Dodgers team. They did not just have to play 2 games against the Reds, which in my opinion is pretty significant. Because a team that used a lot of their guys down the stretch, the Phillies didn't really take their foot off the pedal at the end of the season. I mean, there are teams who will play none of their starters after they just clinch a postseason berth. Phillies didn't do that. Their guys have been going. I mean, you still saw JT was in there in the lineup, whether it was DH or catcher, they put him in there. Or no, did he DH? I know he DH for the inter squad. I think he DH in one of the games toward the end there. But they're playing their guys. Like, they needed this rest. I mean, of course, they played that inter squad game, which I think is good. Keeps them moving, which is important. But his role on the team this year was paramount. That's the only way to put it.
Cristopher Sanchez numbers at home in 2025, 97 and 2/3 innings. It's 15 starts. He went 6-0 with a 1.94 ERA, a 0.9 WHIP, and a 200 batting average against. So Cristopher Sanchez enjoys playing at Citizens Bank Park. And I mean, how can someone not enjoy playing at Citizens Bank Park in the postseason when the fans pack it in and the rally towels are being waved and it's just an electric atmosphere? And click on the description. Use code Phillies Sports Report. You will save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. PHILLYSPORTSREPORT. Save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. What are you doing with that S, Colin?
Hold the S. Knock it out of the ballpark like Kyle Schwarber is going to do this evening. Get it done.
Thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring the show. Get in the building for the postseason. I will be there in game 1. We will be back in the building, so we're ready to rock and roll for game 1. What a game 1 it's going to be against Ohtani and Cristopher Sanchez. And let's talk about some X factors, Colin. When you think of an X factor, it's not like Kyle Schwarber or Bryce Harper or those guys they need to step up. It's guys that need to step up and could change a series. And I have 2 of them.
All right. Well, here's the deal. Since you took my key to the series, I'm sharing first. Then you can take one. Then I'll take one. Then you're gonna finish. My first one, I'm gonna switch my order because I think you're gonna have this person. Is your double leadoff man, Bryson Stott? He is. Is he one of yours?
He is not, but it was definitely he was probably my number 3.
Good. Okay. Well, that works out then. He's huge. I mean, does he want to hit the bottom of the lineup? No. Is he a bottom of the lineup hitter? I don't think so. I think he's going to have some really good years where he's hitting 300, and on some teams he's going to be a leadoff hitter. But his role is so important because the way the Phillies lineup is structured is their power guys are 1 through 3. Those are the guys they're going to knock in runners. And when the bottom of the lineup gets on base, they're going to do so much better offensively. If you just look at it the last few weeks, right? When the Phillies started really winning games consistently and dominantly, it's when they figured out that outfield platoon. All of the outfielders hit at the bottom of the lineup. Little hint for everyone out there. That's the reason we need to have a platoon, right? Castellanos, Marsh, Kepler. I guess Bader was toward the top for a little bit, but these guys are at the bottom of the lineup. When Thompson figured out how to match them up with opposing pitchers and get the best 3 guys in there on the best day, they started producing, and then all of a sudden, there's runners in scoring position for Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, and Bryce Harper, who are the Phillies' big 3 RBI guys and power guys. It's not a complicated formula, but Bryson stopped getting on base and just finding a way to be available for those top 3 guys is going to be huge.
You went with a hitter. I'll go with a hitter. I'm going to go with, presumably, the Phillies cleanup hitter, Alec Bohm. Bohm has been awful in his postseason career. He's been terrible. He got benched last year in Game 2 of the NLDS. People don't remember. Remember, he was crying in the dugout in Game 4. It was ugly. I didn't want Alec Bohm on this roster this season. I'm going to be honest. I put it out there publicly. But ever since he's returned from the injured list, he has a 9-game hit streak. He has a 9-game hit streak over his last 7 games. He's hitting .464 with a .484 on base and a .643 slug. He has 13 hits in his last 28 bats. He should be the Phillies 4-hole hitter, and if he continues to hit like this, the amount of protection he's going to provide Bryce Harper is going to be huge. The Phillies have not had a hitter behind Harper in the postseason ever. In 22 was Castellanos. In the last 2 years, it's been Bohm, and Bohm has not been good, and Castellanos was bad in 22. So if Bohm can continue his pace that he's on and add protection to Harper, it's going to be because they'll have to pitch to Bryce Harper, and we all know what Bryce Harper does in October. So if Bohm can keep what he's doing, keep that 9-game hit streak, keep it rolling, get on base, slug a little bit maybe, bring in some runs because you got Trey, Schwarber, and Harper in front of him. You'll have guys on base for Bohm. He's gonna have to be the guy that he is with runners on base and just bring guys in. So my first X factor is Alec Bohm.
I like that one. That's big. Well, for my second one, we did talk about veteran relief pitchers for the Dodgers. So now we're going to talk about veteran relief pitchers for the Phillies. And the one that stands out the most is the one who got mistaken for a coach just a few days ago, and that's David Robertson. I think that he is, behind Joan Duran, the second most important piece in this Phillies bullpen because, he's in a tough spot. He came in very random point in the season and was given a pretty significant role on this roster. And in October, he's going to have a pretty significant role too. He's definitely struggled lately. I think the Phillies have put him in some tough spots, but he has playoff experience, tons of playoff experience. He won a World Series with the Yankees and Rob Thompson, interestingly, and which was actually against the Phillies. Now that I'm putting all these pieces together.
2009.
Yeah. He is a crucial part of the bullpen just simply because of the role that he's managed to fill. And we've kind of seen him struggle a little bit more over the past 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm not going to lie, watching him can be terrifying. I mean, he's putting these 90, on a good day, 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, but he places them perfectly. He mixes his pitches so well. He still has very good breaking balls and ridiculous off-speed pitches. He's a fun pitcher to watch, just because of, I think, his age and he reminds me of watching Adam Wainwright toward the end of his career because, you see them really they actually change their pitching style to meet the changing needs of their body and how they've aged. And I think if he can, hold his ground in the postseason, that's going to be big for the Phillies bullpen because they also have been a little bit shaky recently with Kerkering struggling, and Strom's had a good year, but not as good as I'd say the last 2. But he's still been good. And even, I know we don't want to talk about it, but Joan Duran has been not as reliable as I think some of us thought, or he was in his first 3 weeks in Philadelphia. So got to keep an eye on that too.
Yeah, Philly's bullpen has certainly been suspect. Not great stuff from Orion Kerkering, David Robertson, Joan Duran, the 3 big-headed monsters. And you went with a bullpen guy late in the game. I'll go with a bullpen guy late in the game. And I'm going with the guy I just mentioned, Orion Kerkering. Orion Kerkering,
we almost doubled up.
in his last 2 1/3 innings, allowed 1 hit and 1 run. His last two appearances came on the 27th and 28th, the last 2 days of the season. 1 1/3, 4 strikeouts. He struck out the side in his final appearance on the last day of the season. He's going into the postseason with 2 very good outings. He struck out the last 4 batters he has faced. That's a good way to go into the postseason. He's pitching well after pitching horribly throughout July, August, September. He goes in with kind of on a high note. And if you can get good stuff from Ryan Kirkring for innings 6 or 7, that is going to be so big. I know I just made this. I just said 6-7. I know. I laugh. That is going to be so big for the Phillies if they can get a guy. I know you have Tanner Banks and some other guys that you can Matt Straw. Maybe if you can have a right-hander in those 2 innings, in those late innings, that'll just add so much to this team. Because really, right now it's Robertson and Duran who you really trust in those back ends, and maybe Tanner Banks and Matt Straw, maybe. But if you could throw Ryan Kirkring into that mix, that is going to be so much for your confidence on your team and for your bullpen that it could completely change the aspect of this bullpen if Ryan Kirkring can turn it on.
Right. I mean, the Phillies have a lot of guys in the bullpen who have been good this year. They just haven't been consistent. That's really been the bottom line that I've noticed. And it goes for everyone. Like, I picked Robertson. You picked Kirkring. We could list so many. Strahm had a period where he struggled. Again, no one wants to talk about it, but Duran right now, we've definitely seen better from him. Like, there are a lot of guys that this applies to, and that's really what worries me. I mean, in the past, we've always been worried in the postseason about the Phillies' offense, right? I mean, we've been very lucky to have our pitchers have just been lights out in the postseason. Wheeler, Nola for the first series and a half usually. Who am I missing? Sanchez was good last year. Ranger Suarez has also been not as consistent, but has had a lot of good starts as well. He's battled through starts in the postseason and come out with a decent line. This year, though, it really is the pitching that I think worries me. A lot of guys are going to be asked to step up in the postseason, whether it's in the starting rotation or the bullpen. And with that increased level of intensity, they're going to have to match it. So we're really going to have to see if that's something they're capable of doing.
We spoke about Duran a little bit. I don't know if you saw this, but the Phillies earlier on Friday, we got some flames in the center field batter's eye for I'm assuming Duran. It's kind of epic.
Yeah. It's a little hard to see. I feel like I'd probably better at night, but
I mean at night it'll be.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and they don't have any day games, so
yeah,
works out. I guess
that's what happens when you play the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, if he blows a save when they throw up the flames like that, I don't know. All right, it's prediction time.
It's prediction time,
and I'll go first since you went first and last thing.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah, we'll flip around. I feel like we're gonna have the same prediction.
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like everyone kind of has this. Everyone in Phillies land kind of has this.
I feel like everyone has. I feel like everyone in Dodgers land probably has the same prediction. Flip team.
Yeah. Phillies in 5.
Yeah. Yep.
This is going to be a great series, and I think this Phillies team knows how much pressure they have on them. This is the most pressure a Phillies team has had on them in the history of the franchise. They know that this is it. And they knew they were going to have to go through the Dodgers at some point. The day has come. So I think they know what it means. And I think they'll be able to take it on. The Dodgers are a great team. They're going to take 2 games. It's going to be a great National League Division Series. One for the ages. One that should be a 7-game series. And one that I think by the next CBA will change the NLDS and the division series in total to 7 games. And they'll get rid of some of the regular season. Probably make the wild card 5 games, and then everything else will maybe be 7. Could be happening.
Is the World Series 9?
No, everything is just 7.
Okay.
I like the division series at 5 though.
5-game wild card is crazy.
Yeah, it's long, but you have everyone play.
How about this? 4 games. If it's tied, home run derby swing off. No, that's never mind. That's crazy. That's insane.
Imagine your season's coming down to a home run swing off.
That would be entertaining though.
Yeah, but what if you're playing in that? I would I don't know what I would do. Phillies at 5.
Just absolutely not. Not just at all. Entertaining, 10 times out of 10. For me on my
All right.
couch, it's entertaining.
Yes.
If I
Phillies
were the
in.
manager on the losing side, I would be
no.
in Rob Manfred's office the next morning.
All right, so Phil's in 5, and it's going to be an all-time NLDS.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction's the same way. Phillies are going to win in 5, and I'm selfish. I want to see really good baseball. Like, really, really high-quality baseball. I don't want to see people, I mean, again, selfish as I am, I don't want to see the ball getting fumbled around. I don't want to see some terrible, terrible swings. I want to see good pitching and good hitting. And good defense.
I have said all year that this Phillies team, it's the same team every year. They always do the same thing in the playoffs, but they know. I'm gonna try and put that in the back, and then I'll probably pull that back out if they lose this series. But if they have patience, the Phillies will win this series. It's all about patience. Talking about patience.
All about patience. That might be a title for today, Ben.
All about patience.
All about patience.
Patience. I don't have patience, but the Phillies will have patience, hopefully, at the plate against these Dodgers pitchers. So
I hope so. They need it.
We will see you after game 1. Oh, by the way, we're going to have our Phillies pregame shows are back for this postseason an hour before every game. So make sure you tune in on the YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook pages of Phillies Sports Reports. Thank you all for watching and listening to this podcast. We will see you on Sunday after game 1 of the NLDS.
Before game 1 today.
Yes, hopefully we'll be talking about a victory.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for watching and listening. Follow the Bell Ringers podcast on Twitter and listen wherever you find your podcast and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Colin and Ben out. Go Phils.
Go Phils.